The UK government has announced new plans to initiate a crackdown on a massive, new, ominous terror threat. Islamic extremism, environmental radicalism, cyber terrorism. No, saying mean things about women. What, really? Yeah, really.
The government says it will look to treat extreme misogyny like it does terrorism.
But what is extreme misogyny? Whatever they say it is. The only example given so far being stuff Andrew Tate says online.
I absolutely and utterly love women.
Which apparently is radicalising a generation of young men. Fresh from locking up hundreds of boomers for posting spicy memes on Facebook, Labour is now preparing to refer Zoomers to the government's anti-terror programme if they share Tate's content on social media. Seems reasonable. Given that the bar in the UK for free speech is now so low that they're targeting people for posting, quote, anti-establishment rhetoric, what other forms of misogyny could trigger a visit from the terror police? Being anti-abortion, laughing at women's football, criticising feminism,
expose anti-feminist discourses and, blame, for example, male oppression on feminism.
Insulting the viral UK influencer who keeps removing her underwear in public.
I'm gonna need a little donation.
What you in for, mate? I called this woman on Twitter a slag. Meanwhile, the actual crimes, like fatal stabbings, stuff like that, which were once rare in Britain, keep rolling in on a daily basis. Sorry, all units are busy responding to some anon on X who called an OnlyFans e-girl a slapper. Seems reasonable, but the prisons are full, they're totally overcrowded. How are you going to make room for all these people posting naughty words online? By releasing thousands of convicted career criminals. By launching Operation Early Dawn.
The government has confirmed that it's activated an emergency plan to avoid overcrowding in jails. Operation Early Dawn is a long-standing but very rarely used contingency plan.
Which basically means all the thought criminals will be held in police cells while prison spaces are made available.
We will guarantee people a prison cell.
After they release the convicted criminals who have only served 40% of their time. After all, violent crimes against women on Britain's trains have soared by more than 50%. Violence against women and girls-related crime rose by almost 40% between 2018 and 2023. More than 1 million violent crimes against women and children were recorded in the year to March 2023. And acid attacks have risen by 75%, half of them against women. Must be Andrew Tate's fault. Can't think what else could have been happening during those years which could have increased the risk of violence towards women? Couldn't have anything to do with importing vast quantities of young men from countries that aren't exactly noted for their respect for women's rights. Could it? Maybe this chap could have been stopped if someone had carefully explained to him that online misogyny isn't very nice. Or this guy. Sir Mark Rowley, the Metropolitan Police Commissioner, has called for the epidemic of violence against women and girls to be treated as a national security threat. Porous borders enabling hundreds of thousands of unidentified men to stream in from countries where women are oppressed. Not a national security threat. Offensive words on a computer screen. Definitely a national security threat. Seems reasonable. Teachers, healthcare professionals and local officials in Britain may become legally obligated to report young men to the government's Prevent Counter-Terror programme in the same manner as Islamic terrorism or far-right radicalism. In 2019, MI5 admitted that the number of far-right extremism cases they dealt with was totally dwarfed by Islamic extremism cases, and yet out of all the referrals to Prevent from teachers and other officials in 2022-23, just 11% were suspected of Islamic extremism compared to 19% for the far-right and 37% of vulnerability present but no ideology of counter-terrorism risk. According to The Guardian, young boys are already being reported to the counter-terrorism programme by their schools for repeating Andrew Tate's views. Whisper it quietly, but the Prevent programme doesn't seem to be preventing much actual extremism, and instead appears to be targeting perfectly normal views held by the majority of Brits, like the opinion that there's too much immigration, something which in other European countries where they keep more specific data has provably increase the threat of violence towards women.
Some of them, they're not screaming. It's like they wanted to be raped, you see. She also grabs you see, no more
like
crying.
She's enjoying it, you know, even though she isn't, but it's like she's enjoying it.
What about the consequences of what you're doing in terms of how that affects the person that's raped?
Yeah, the consequences, we look at that all the time, because it happens, she might scream, people might wake up.
course.
A lot of people,
especially.
I'm not just talking about. I'm talking about the emotional effect, the physical effect it has on the
yeah,
girl.
yeah. Sometimes we know that we might rape her and wake up tomorrow with viruses ourselves, like HIV. You know.
What about regretting what you've done to the girl?
I also do regret about it, because if she fell pregnant, what will be that baby's father? Who will be that baby's father?
But what about her personal feelings?
And anyway, isn't violence towards women already a crime? Well, sometimes it is, sometimes apparently not. But don't worry, because the same Labour government which presided over the cover-up of the industrial-scale grooming of young girls spanning nearly 2 decades is going to protect young girls from, I don't know, edgy memes or something. But don't worry, because the Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, is hot on the case. She'll protect women once she decides what a woman is.
The Shadow Minister for Women struggled to define what a woman is on the radio. Are you comfortable defining what a woman is?
I don't know. I think people get themselves down rabbit holes on this one. I just think let's just celebrate International Women's Day and amazing women all over the country, amazing women all over the world, but also challenge inequalities and say what it is we need to be doing for the future.
But to do that, you know, you've got a book about it. You presumably can say, yeah, I'm very confident what a woman is.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know, it's just whether we get into rabbit holes on this. Why are we all kind of getting ourselves tangled up?
Well, I think it's because a lot of people listening would say, well, I know what a woman is. It's really straightforward. And then it feels that politicians start to get themselves into rabbit holes about this.
Yeah, as you can see, I'm avoiding going down a rabbit hole because I just think this is pointless.
Misogyny is going to be outlawed by people who can't say what a woman is. Maybe Yvette can ask her own son, a drag queen called Miss Vanity Vengeance, a pro-trans activist who led a group of students who hounded Nadim Zahawi off stage for inciting hatred when he defined adult human females. Yeah, on second thoughts, probably best not to ask him. If you value what I do and you want to help support me, please visit pauljosephwatson.locals.com and either pledge a one-time donation or subscribe to join my community, get early access videos, and message me directly. And exclusive live streams coming soon too. Promise. Check out the Locals link down in the description. And don't forget to take a look at the brand new website, modernity.news. That's where you'll find all my content, including exclusive articles. That's modernity.news.